Heartbreaking devastation in southwestern Florida following the aftermath of Hurricane Ian.
This could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history.
Boats piled up, a causeway collapsed, and homes shattered into pieces.
I literally watched my house disappear with everything in it.
A Category 4 landfall felt all the way in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast.
I got lucky. The people over on the West Coast, they got it the worst.
Now resources in our area are on the move to help.
We have everything we need so that when we get there, we're not a burden on their infrastructure.
A recovery that will take years for communities to rebuild from a historic storm. CBS 12 News This Morning starts now. And this morning, we are getting a first look at the widespread devastation in southwest Florida. Good morning, I'm Matt Lincoln.
And I'm Danielle DeRoss for Sam Kerrigan today. Officials are confirming several deaths. We've seen anywhere from 6 to 17 reported deaths in association with this storm as crews continue their search and rescue efforts after Ian made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane.
Yeah, take a look at this drone video from Live Storms Media of home after home in just pieces in San Carlos Island. Storm surge was strong enough to pull houses right off of their foundation and throw them into other houses. You can see there are beds in there, furniture, a refrigerator, all scattered all over the ground.
Yeah, other images show us that boats are just piled up on top of each other at this marina. Nearby piers and storage buildings were also wiped out. And right now, officials are working to get to those people on that area that are still trapped this morning, and they have to rely on boats to get into many of these locations.
In Sanibel Island, one of the towns now completely cut off after Ian destroyed part of the causeway that connects the island to the mainland. That means people who did not evacuate from the island are stuck there. The governor says more than 700 people have been rescued across the state.
As Ian moved its way through the state, this storm trapped several people in significant floodwaters in central Florida. Military vehicles there and airboats helped rescue dozens of people in Orlando and Kissimmee. And you can see their streets really looking more like rivers, submerging cars, knocking out power to thousands in central Florida, where they saw anywhere from 12 to 20 inches of rain.
Almost 2 feet. This is a similar scene in St. Augustine, the oldest town in Florida. You can see just how high that water is by seeing how high it reaches that light pole. Area saw about a foot of rain. So yeah, we're going coast to coast with this storm, Lauren.
So much of the conversation was about where this hurricane was making landfall. You almost forgot for a second that it was moving through other parts of the state and causing serious problems there.
Right. So we usually think of where is the eye going and what is the wind speed going to be when it makes landfall. But we always say that the impacts are felt far outside the center of the storm. It might not be in the form of wind. For us, tornadoes. We had some floods here. And then, you know, from essentially the I-4 corridor, 10 to 20 feet of inches, 10 inches to 20 inches of rain fell and just caused devastating flooding.
You know, my parents live in Volusia County, and their backyard is flooded, and we knew we might get some rain. We weren't expecting almost 2 feet of it.
Right. When these storms sit in place for an extended period of time, you end up with, an issue like this. I have a friend whose cousin goes to school at UCF. Her apartment was flooded out. The cars in the parking lot there, water up to the tops of their cars, and the National Guard had to come in and get
Save
all
them.
of these students
Wow.
out because of the flooding. It was nearly an island for them. Let's take a look now at Ian. Just so much happening from all different aspects of the storm. So Ian right now is a Cat 1, winds at 85 miles per hour, moving north. Landfall expected in South Carolina later today. There is a hurricane warning posted for the entire coast of South Carolina. Tropical storm warnings for eastern Georgia and then inland in the Carolinas right now. All tropical related alerts for Florida have been lifted. Heavy rain continues to fall near Charleston and the Myrtle Beach area along the Outer Banks. For us, though, our skies are dry. It feels incredible outside. It's 63 degrees in Indiantown right now. Belle Glade is at 62, 66 in West Palm Beach. Port St. Lucie at 64. I don't normally spend that much time on our current temperatures, but they're just that great that I had to show you. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies through the morning. We'll hit about 77 degrees by 11. And our skies for the day, nice and clear. It's going to be a great day to get outside. Danielle and Matt.
All right, Lauren, thank you. 6:05 now, and this morning, Palm Beach and Martin County's rapid response teams are getting ready to head over to the West Coast to help in the relief efforts. Nearly 100 members will help the hardest hit areas in Charlotte and Lee counties. And our Kara Duffy now joining us live from the Martin County Sheriff's Office in Stewart, where they're getting ready to leave soon. Kara, what are you seeing out there right now?
Yeah, Matt, it's starting to get very busy out here. We have deputies arriving, packing up their trucks, loading up the equipment, and getting ready to hit the road and get to work. If you take a look behind us here, you can see some of the team members already gathered behind us, and they certainly will not be arriving empty-handed when they show up in Lee County. Crucial equipment here to assist with search and rescue efforts, as well as helping to carry out law enforcement duties there. They're also bringing air-conditioned tents, several generators, satellite phones. As we know, nearly all cell service in the area has been wiped out. Sheriff William Snyder says he will be joining this first rapid response team today when they leave the group, specially trained by Homeland Security. And as someone who's lived and worked in Florida through several devastating hurricanes, he says he is eager to get back.
To see the hardships that people have to endure. They've lost homes, they may have lost loved ones, they've lost everything. They have no refrigeration, they may not have sanitation. And so when we go in a law enforcement capacity, we try to go as a life raft to bring aid and comfort, and very importantly, to protect the people from those that would take advantage when they're at their lowest moment.
Sheriff Snyder says the team's special training includes how to handle the challenges of search and rescue efforts, like the dangers of standing water, posing threats of downed power lines, and of course, possibly encountering wildlife. They're also specially trained in empathy, how to deal and help others as they go through these emotions, dealing with the devastation. Now, this is the first rapid response team that's going to be leaving this morning. They say that they plan to bring another crew in about a week to relieve this original team here, but Sheriff Snyder says that they plan to stay at least 2 weeks, but don't have any intentions of leaving until their job there is done. Matt.
All right, Kara, thank you very much. We've been showing you this video from the Kings Point community in Delray Beach for the past couple days, and this morning we are learning that it was an EF2 tornado that ripped through parts of Delray Beach and Boca Raton. The National Weather Service says the tornado touched down at Kings Point on Tuesday night with winds up to 125 miles per hour. The strength of the tornado damaged parts of the building and flipped several cars over. 2 people were hurt. Another was rescued from her bathroom when the roof came down. 30 people were evacuated and have been relocated to Fountain View in West Palm Beach.
Yeah, incredible images there. And right now, cleanup efforts continue in the Floral Lakes senior community in Delray Beach, not far from Kings Point. That area also felt the impacts of the same tornado. Broken concrete roof tiles are now scattered around that neighborhood following Ian's winds. Several homeowners in the community tell us that their roofs are severely damaged.
That was very scary. I mean, I was in the kitchen and all of a sudden the kitchen window literally exploded.
I had just gotten into bed around 9:30 at night and it sounded like a freight train was right outside my window.
A roof contractor in Delray Beach tells us that it may take weeks for homeowners to get the roof repairs done because concrete tiles are in short supply. Residents at Floral Lakes have to use specific tiles because they are in part of a homeowners association. They'll have to pay a deductible, but they're really hoping that insurance covers most of the costs.
And the National Weather Service is also confirming an EF1 tornado touched down in parts of Wellington and Loxahatchee. They say winds peaked at 90 miles per hour as it ripped through parts of Wellington near the Wanderers Club golf course on Tuesday night. You can see heavy damage here at the Wellington Aero Club, also as tree branches crashed into houses and streets. It then crossed over to Flying Cow Ranch Road and Southern Boulevard into Loxahatchee.
In Okeechobee County, they also felt the impacts of Ian with heavy rain and strong winds. We spoke to a man who says that part of his roof blew off, and he says that he thinks this is the worst storm he has ever seen in the 5 years that he's lived there.
This is worse than Francis and Jean. I was right over by the Intercoastal when Francis and Jean came aboard, and Jean was pretty bad, but this one was a lot worse.
A representative from FEMA is expected to arrive there in the coming days to assess the damage. Right now, Florida Power and Light and Glades Electric Cooperative are slowly working on restoring power.
And as you can imagine, all this damage that we are talking about is only going to hurt our statewide property insurance crisis. Citizens Insurance, an insurer of last resort, has a preliminary estimate on just how much it's going to cost. 225,000 claims from Ian and about $3.8 billion in exposure. If that estimate is accurate, the company says it would not have to force assessments on policyholders. But these are early numbers. It certainly could be worse. We spoke to a man who lives in Palm Beach Gardens who says the only damage Ian caused at his home were a couple of trees that snapped and broke. But he has Citizens Insurance and worries the cost of Ian is going to cost him.
Like so many other people, there's no other option. Winds were starting to pick up, and I guess there must have been just like a random gust and snapped that tree in half.
Right now, Citizens has more than 1 million policyholders. If the cost of Ian surpasses the early estimates, or if there are more storms this year and Citizens does not have the funds, the rest of the insurance industry could be hit hard. Danielle, you've been covering a lot of this, and this is certainly bad case scenario for our housing crisis.
Well, you can't say we didn't see it coming, because we've been talking about the situation now for what feels like months, and we had said, you know, we really can't handle 2 major hurricanes. So here we have 1. And we still got a lot of hurricane season to go. So it's very concerning there. And as we said yesterday, worst case scenario, people who aren't on Citizens, if they do have that special assessment, you're looking at a couple $100 extra bucks. So we already pay the highest in the nation for homeowners insurance, and nobody wants to hear this.
And we certainly don't know how many other insurance companies in the state of Florida might bolt before the end of the year, piling even more onto Citizens.
We've already seen, I think, 5 or 6 go under. So very concerning trends, and something we're going to continue to watch as the season progresses. But still ahead, we have more images to show you of the damage coming out of Southwest Florida following Ian's landfall there, plus ways that you can help the thousands of victims affected. That's coming up in just 3 minutes.
And before we hit a break, let's take a live look at Lake Worth Beach. Dark and early, but we know it is cool out there. Temperatures in the 60s. Stay with us. We'll check back in with meteorologist Lauren Lesky. You're watching CBS 12 News This Morning, the one to turn to.